Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to this emergency live broadcast. So the deep state is no longer hiding it. They are literally posting on social media to take out Donald Trump. That's right. You heard me right, ladies and gentlemen. So we have today James Comey, the former disgraced FBI director, going to Instagram and openly calling for the assassination of President Donald Trump. And then when he gets called out about it, he has an excuse and says, "Oh, I didn't know what it means. I'm sorry." Well, everybody is calling it out as BS. You know what the hell you said, Comey. By the way, where's the proof of Russian collusion, Comey? Doesn't exist. Ladies and gentlemen, do me a huge favor. Smash that thumbs up. Subscribe, leave me a comment. Where are you tuning in from? And please share the link with this video with a friend or two. It really helps me a lot with the algorithm. And before we get into it, ladies and gentlemen, really quickly, today's sponsor is Verity Metals. Ladies and gentlemen, gold and silver. It is the oldest currency in the world, the only currency that has never collapsed. And if you look at it, it is steadily on the up, up, up. Last time Trump was president, gold went up by over 51% in price. Trump is doing business deals again, and gold is on the rise again. Protect your IRAs, your 401ks, your cash retirement savings plans, and everything in between. Verity Metals, they're patriots, they're Trump supporters, people of faith, local here out of Glendale, Arizona. They'll give you free silver on your next order when you call or text 480-717-9081 and tell them Vlad sent you. Links are down below in the description. Let's get into it. We're jumping onto my Twitter page. So James Comey posted this earlier this morning. While President Trump is currently on an international trip to the Middle East, the former director puts out what can clearly be interpreted as a hit on the sitting president of the United States, a message etched in the sand. And it says 8647. 86 in government and police means to take someone out, assassinate someone, kill someone. It says 8647. And James Comey started playing games like, when he posted it, he just said, "Oh, look at the seashells I found in the sand." Openly calling. He knows what the hell it is. He used to be an FBI director. He knows that 86 means to take someone out. 47, President of the United States. Now, and then when the whole internet blew up and people started calling him out for his BS, for his lies, he posted this. "I posted earlier a picture of some shells I saw today on a beach walk, which I assumed were a political message. I didn't realize some folks associate those numbers with violence. It never occurred to me, but I oppose violence of any kind, so I took the post down." The 86 in government and within the military literally means take someone out. Now, here's what people are blowing up. We're going to watch two clips from Fox News, and we're going to move
explanation
on.
of that.
I got other stuff I want to share with you, but here's clip number one.
Hello, does James Comey's explanation of this pass any straight face test? A shell formation, which is a threat to Donald Trump's life, is just something he came across on the beach.
Yeah, of course he did. He also came across the abominable snowman and Sasquatch while he was walking along on the beach. Listen, this guy, James Comey's been a problem since day one. He likes to talk about how Trump is unethical, immoral, a threat to the United States. Yeah, how about the former director of the FBI has got nothing better to do than put shells in a formation that says 24/7, and then he claims, well, I just happened to find this, and you want to talk about this guy's mental cognition? Let's compare him to Joe Biden. Are you kidding me? This is just more of the same from 120 or so days ago. This guy's trying to stay relevant. He's a complete zero, and this latest episode just shows what a complete clown show he is and the FBI is. And now the Secret Service is going to say, well, we're going to investigate. Are you kidding me? The Secret Service is no better now than it was when it had those last two directors. These guys can't get out of their own way. The FBI is a complete disgrace still. Kash Patel, Danny Bongino, Sean Curran over the service need to clean house and get it done now. And I hope Pam Bondi and her people go after this guy with everything that he's worth. You're the former director of the FBI, the president of the United States, who, by the way, was rightly elected, is out of the country, in the Middle East, no less, talking to one of our greatest threats, the Iranians, the Qataris, and you go and you pull a stunt like this? Yeah. How juvenile. This is high school, but you know what? This guy needs to be prosecuted. This has got to stop.
Now, here's another reaction from somebody on Fox News earlier today about this.
Fox News alert. Disgraced FBI Director James Comey making a threatening post against Donald Trump. Fox's Peter Ducey is live. Fox's Peter Ducey is live from Abu Dhabi with all the details. My goodness, Peter.
And Laura, the real head scratcher about this very serious topic is that James Comey wants us to believe, and we have this photo here, that he saw a cool, these are his words, cool shell formation on my beach walk. And the cool shell formation, according to the person who used to be in charge of the FBI, shows shells in the shape of 8647. 86 is common restaurant lingo, of course, for denying service to somebody. But after about 30 seconds of Googling, you can see that a good chunk of people all around the world also associate 86 with meaning to kill somebody. An old mob saying, basically, you take somebody 8 miles outside of town and then you put them 6 feet in the ground. James Comey, again, a guy who has prosecuted mobsters, apparently had no idea that this was a thing. He deleted the original post with the cool shell formation, and he writes, I posted a picture earlier of some shells I saw today on a beach walk, which I assumed were a political message. I didn't realize some folks associate those numbers with violence. It never occurred to me, but I oppose violence of any kind, and I took the post.
Now, that's pretty much it that I wanted to share from that one. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to play this minute and 40-second video. Let's not forget when General Flynn told us that he knows for a fact that James Comey tried to unalive General Flynn, that they thought about doing that.
I knew that we had to fight through this, and it was not easy, but we were able to stand our ground. We figured out a way out of it. My case was dismissed by the government, by the Department of Justice, and and that what they should have done was they should have killed me there, Jim. And I know that they considered it. And so by not doing that, they picked the wrong family to mess with. And I'm going to tell you, we are so tied into the government, particularly the government right now.
You said that James Comey should have killed you. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, I mean it. I mean, these people, I know that they talk about these things. So there's a group of people that talk, they discuss this because it's like, what do we want to do? We can destroy this guy. And then all of a sudden I start to fight back. We started to fight back, and I completely changed my whole I changed my legal team. I changed our strategy, huge gamble. And we started to fight back. And when we did, we started winning. And then we eventually won. And I know that there are conversations, and primarily outside of the government, that says, what do we want to do about a guy like Flynn? What do they want to do about a guy like Trump? They tried to kill him twice. He's as a candidate. I mean, his life is always at risk. Those of us that are on the periphery.
So you hear that, ladies and gentlemen. James Comey is a threat to our nation. He's a disgrace, and he needs to be in prison. But before I wrap up this live, I want to cover a couple more stories with you, ladies and gentlemen. As you all know, the P. Diddy trials have begun. And oh my, Hakeem Jeffries, you've been doing some naughty things. Hakeem Jeffries has been implicated in the Diddy trial. According to testimony, Jeffries was a recurring guest of honor at covert, quote, Communist Party freak-offs, themed around exaggerated communist nostalgia. Sources familiar with the investigation say the parties begin with theatrical and controversial acts, including staged flag-burning performances meant to lampoon Cold War hysteria. Diddy claimed Jeffries often insisted on the presence of young Hispanic male performers costumed as flamboyant versions of Fidel Castro, complete with glitter-covered fatigues and choreographed cigar routines. This is going to get way more crazy before it does. Before it's over. Source Newsmax. You freaky, freaky boy. You freaky, freaky. Oh, man. I see, the thing with me is when you read and you just cut like stuff like that, I just imagine what's inside people like that? What's inside their heads? What do they dream about? Just imagine to think up something like that. Young Hispanic boys dressed like Castro. But ladies and gentlemen, no thanks to Pam Bondi. No thanks to Pam Bondi. And all thanks to James O'Keefe, who doesn't even work for the Trump administration. We are actually getting footage from inside Jeffrey Epstein's island.
Today, we release more never-before-seen video and images from inside Jeffrey Epstein's former island home, showing bizarre statues and a cryptic message written on a chalkboard by Jeffrey Epstein himself. The Jeffrey Epstein Island, also known as Little St. James in the Virgin Islands. Last time we took you inside the kitchen to show that really creepy image of a baby in a sink. YouTubers have snuck on the island. Luke Radowski, Tyler Olivier getting images of the outside of the structures. But today we're going to take you inside the structures, inside Jeffrey Epstein's library. We're going to take a closer look. Now, this has never been seen before. We are now inside the library. Dozens of books line the walls, including literature like Ernest Hemingway's Selected Letters, vacation reads such as Robert Ludlum's The Bourne Ultimatum, denser titles like The Golden Age of Theoretical Physics, and Salman Rushdie's Satanic Verses. Now, a closer inspection revealed unusual objects, statuettes of winged figures in plague masks, and one of a semi-nude young woman washing herself while seated on a bidet. Video and photos inside the library also show a horse whip, which is right here under the chalkboard, apparently crafted from leather and bones. And then we go to this chalkboard over here. Now, this chalkboard displayed cryptic words, including the word power, deception, mirror in face, dank brain, among others. Now, the chalkboard's message remains a mystery, and we're hoping that some of you in the audience can help decipher and ascertain what Epstein might be talking about here. This is, again, right after he was arrested. We compared the words on the chalkboard to a note Epstein wrote in his prison cell before his death. Several letters and letter combinations from the note match those on the chalkboard, which leads us to believe they were, in fact, written by Jeffrey Epstein.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much it of the tour. But here are my closing remarks. Think about this. You have a president, Donald Trump, and you have the deep state. You have the Democrats. Donald Trump is in the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Abu Dhabi, maybe a trip to Turkey tomorrow. He's going around and bringing home trillions of dollars of foreign investment, trying to build up the American middle class and American economy. At the very same time, you have the disgraced former FBI director literally posting threats against the president's life while he's trying to make a deal with Iran to make sure we don't go to war with them over nuclear weapons. The Democrats are back home fighting for illegal immigrants. The Democrats back home are holding impeachment hearings. We have a president right now that is changing the world. And what are the Democrats focused on? Oh, we're not in power anymore. They lied to us about Russian collusion. James Comey is the same Russia collusion piece of crap. But do you know what happened, ladies and gentlemen, in the last 4 days, and what pisses them off more than anything? They told us that Trump is the laughingstock of the world. Well, guess what? When Joe Biden arrived, he got a fist bump. Trump got horses, camels, Tesla trucks, the sword dance. He got a handshake from the prince himself at the airplane, which only happened once before. Trump gets standing ovations. Joe Biden had to go there. Who remembers Joe Biden in 2023 actually went to Saudi Arabia to beg them, please, pump more oil. And they told him no. You guys all remember. They looked, and with all the cameras rolling, Joe Biden sitting feet from the prince. And the prince said, no, we're not going to do that. There's a new sheriff in town, a president that is respected, who's not out there to make war, but who is making peace. And I love how he's treating the Russia-Ukraine situation. He said, I'm done. Go fight it out. He said, I don't want to do business with Russia or Ukraine. If you guys don't, you guys should have made peace months ago. You should have made peace my very first week. Now I'm going to go and get rich with the Middle East and with India. And you, Russia, Ukraine, Europe, go fight. I'm going to go make money. And listen to this. Remember my words, ladies and gentlemen, because in just a few years, you will say, Vlad said this would happen. I am predicting right now, the Middle East is the new Europe. The Middle East is the new Europe. India is the new China. India is going to replace China as the manufacturing powerhouse of the world. Plus, Trump said yesterday that India is removing all sanctions off American goods. So now, for the first time in decades, American cars, American machinery, American appliances, and grain and rice and everything else is going to India for the first time ever. So India, unlike China, who are communists and they want to spy on us and they want to buy our politicians, India is not communist and they just want to get rich with us. They've beat China by population. So now India is going to be the new China and the Middle East is the new Europe. We used to get rich with Europe. That's why America and Europe were rich together, making money together. Not anymore. And I think there's a good chance we will leave NATO because Trump is rebuilding relationships in the Middle East. He's reshaping the world. While Europe is fixated on going to war with Russia, Trump is fixated on making money. The only ally that we have in Europe is the UK. That's it. The only ally that we have in Europe is the UK. Nobody else. Everybody else uses us for NATO, uses us for money, uses us for... And the Middle East wants nothing from us. They don't want us to pay for their military. They actually want to buy our military equipment. Israel wants it for free. Saudi Arabia, Qatar are going to give us billions of dollars. Trump saw that Netanyahu tried to pull us into a war with Iran on their behalf. And Trump said, nope, I'm no longer talking. Trump actually said this. He said, we are no longer communicating with Iran through Israel. We are now having direct conversations with Iran. And guess what? As of moments ago, Trump said, we are inches away from making a deal and Iran is going to give up their nuclear capabilities to the United States, and they're going to promise to not make nuclear weapons, and we are going to get rich together. On top of that, Syria. Syria was Russia's friend and China's friend, not with this new leadership. Now, I don't like their new leader, and I'm sure, and Trump even knows that this guy is a former ISIS leader. Once ISIS, always ISIS. Trump is working with what is there. That's why he met with him behind closed doors, probably said, look, I know who you are. I know what you've done. You have two options. You go keep living a terrorist life. Syria is done. Or you change a leaf for your people, not for you, but for your people. You're a president now. You're the leader. Kids, women, elderly depend on you to do good. The Middle East is the new Europe. India is the new China. America is going to be richer, stronger, safer, and better and greater than ever before. Watch. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, these new friendships that we are building, I love them. I don't know if you guys watched Trump's speech in Saudi Arabia when he stood there and said, I'm not like these other American presidents. He said, I'm not going to judge you for how you guys are, within your governments, how you run your government. Because think about it. America has always, he's a dictator, sanction them. Oh, no women's rights, sanction them. But if you go and ask a Muslim woman, what does she think about the head covering? They like it. That's their culture. They were brought up in it. I don't understand it. I don't like it. But that's not my culture. That's not my religion. And I love that Trump does not think like that anymore. I mean, he doesn't think like previous presidents who thought it's the job of the United States to, judge everyone for their mistakes. And Trump actually said, the only one that sits in the seat of judgment is God. That felt good. That felt good, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you this. Welcome to the New World Order. Except it's not the New World Order that the deep state wanted, where they control everyone, where they fearmonger everyone, where we eat bugs and own nothing, eat bugs and be happy. The New World Order is actually a safe one. Actually, where you make decisions for yourself, where you get to worship Jesus and other people worship whatever their religion they want. And guess what? You might believe in another God, not like me, because I believe in Jesus Christ of Nazareth, right? The Son of God. I may disagree with you, but I'm going to respect you. But baby, I'm going to still preach to you. I'm going to still tell you, come to the light. It's better over here. But you got to love it. When our president says we are no longer the police of the world, we want to be friends with the world. Trump spent 90 days trying to stop the Ukraine-Russia war, and he came to the conclusion neither side wants peace. So they can go fight it out. Europe and their cocaine-addicted leaders, they can go to war with Russia. Bye-bye. We're going to go get rich. I guarantee you. You know what's happening today? Vladimir Putin, Zelensky, European leadership are angry. They wish that they listened to Trump and stopped the war months ago. Why? Because they see all the money that Trump is making for the world right now, and they're missing out. We no longer need Europe for anything. We no longer need them for nothing. We never did. We only have one true friend in all of Europe, and that's the UK. Just because of our history together. And Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the Middle East are now the new Europe, our closest allies. And India is now the new China. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the New World Order, except it's not a satanic one. We got a God-fearing man who loves his nation, who loves his people. And by the way, to the Trump family, about 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago, Donald Trump just got, I believe, 11th grandchild was born to Donald Trump. So there's another Trump baby in this world, a son. He had a son. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, God bless you. Pray for Trump. Pray for everything that he's doing. We are literally already taking our first steps of the greatest golden age of America that the world has ever seen. And I absolutely love it. And I voted for this. God bless you. I'll see you soon.